Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic of chapter 1 of class 10, that what is a chemical equation. Okay, we will be defining that what is a chemical equation and what are the types of chemical equations, right? So we will be defining these two topics. So this topic is very easy to understand. Before we start with the actual topic, I would be sharing one statement with you, like when, okay, I will write it: when zinc granules are added into dilute sulfuric acid, it results in the formation of zinc sulfate along with hydrogen gas and evolution of heat energy, right? So now as we can see that we have written a particular equation, but this seems to be more like a paragraph or a comprehension of English. It is not looking like we are writing something in chemistry, right? So this is like very long. It will take some time also to write it down. Now we need to cut short it because there are so many words which are not so important for us. We only want the reactants, those chemical substances which are reacting with each other, and we want the new chemical substances which are formed in the end of the reaction, that is the products. Now if we read it carefully, when zinc granules means that they are small pieces of solids. Okay, so zinc is added to dilute sulfuric acid, right? Dilute is only telling us that it's a weak acid, right? So sulfuric acid, it results in the formation of zinc sulfate along with hydrogen gas, and one condition is also mentioned, that heat energy will be released. So these are the main words that we need to focus. So other things, they are not so important for us, right? So now let us just write that zinc granules, okay, they react with dilute. So we all know dilute can be written in short with DIL, dilute sulfuric acid, right? And it results in the formation of, so this is the arrowhead. It tells us that at the tail of the arrow, or the back of the arrow, are the two reactants R1 and R2, and this is the tip of the arrow. So here the product will be written, that is zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas along with the liberation of heat. So now can we see the difference in this paragraph and in this what we have written? Has our information become very short and crisp, that now we know that we have got two reactants which are reacting with each other, and we have got two products which are formed after the reaction, and we know that heat is also released in the reaction, so it is an exothermic reaction, right? So such an equation or such a reaction in which we write it in form of, or in terms of words, we are writing it in terms of words, it is called as a word equation, right? So this is one type of a chemical equation, that is a word equation. But now can we simplify it further? Can we like make it even more shorter? So the answer to this is yes, if we write it in terms of the symbols and formulae. Okay, so now how can we change zinc? Zinc can be written as Zn. Since it is granules, so we can write small s inside the bracket. It is telling us that zinc is in the solid form. Plus sulfuric acid is H2SO4. Since it is an acid, we all know it will be aqueous, and it is a weak acid right now, so it is dilute. This is showing the formation of the product. this is zinc sulfate because it is again in the aqueous form. We are going to write it AQ. And hydrogen gas, either we can write small g in bracket or we can put an upward arrow along with the formation of heat. So now we have written the whole things what we have written in this paragraph earlier or in this word equation in terms of symbols and formulae. Now the shorthand representation of a chemical reaction in terms of symbols and formulae is called as a chemical equation, right? So this is what is a chemical equation, that is the representation of a chemical reaction in terms of symbols and formulae, right? So now just see that initially it was such a big paragraph, then we kind of made it shorter by writing all the reactants and products in terms of words. Then we made it further shorter, or in fact the shortest, by writing it in terms of symbols and formulae. So whenever a chemical reaction is written in terms of symbols and formulae, it is called as a chemical equation. And we can see that our equation is very informative. How? Because we know that zinc is in the solid form. Sulfuric acid is a weak acid, it is dilute and it is in the aqueous form. Then zinc sulfate is again in the aqueous form. It is a solution of zinc sulfate in water, and hydrogen is in gaseous form, and along with the liberation of heat. So we get to know from this that it is an exothermic reaction. So this is how we can make our equation even more informative, right? So I guess that now we are clear that what is a chemical equation. Now, how many types of chemical equations do we have? Right? This we are going to discuss tomorrow. Okay? So, understand we can write equations in two forms, word and chemical. Right? Thank you, everybody.